What's up, everybody? A lot of fun stuff happening right now with gaming news, gaming experiences, gaming impressions. I'm kind of going through my backlog of everything that I experienced this past weekend at Summer Game Fest Play Days. I got an opportunity to be there and experience a few games, get some appointments and interviews with different teams. So I'm just going to be barraging. So just be on the lookout. I'm going to be barraging you guys with a lot of different videos from my coverage of that, before we go back to kind of like what my normal kind of cadence and video styles are. This is a little bit of like, I just want you guys to see what I've had hands-on impressions with, and if I can share any of that information with you on all scales, indie and not. But today we're here to talk about the Nintendo Direct that just occurred, and I kind of had some thoughts on it. I'm just looking through the list and kind of taking an overview, so let's just get into it and share our thoughts as we go. They shared quite a bit. It's like a full 50-minute, about an hour almost, direct at the tail end of all this news, and they just kind of hit all the boxes in a lot of eyes. I don't know where folks are reading with it, but let's get into it. They start with Rhythm Heaven Groove. This is a game coming out in I believe July, so very soon. We're in the summer of fun, summer of Switch, and it's funny because I've always heard about this. It's a rhythm game with this kind of a silly, art direction and tone to what it is and what it's always been. I know it's a storied franchise. As someone who's never played these games, it's very, I think, WarioWare adjacent for me, of like, oh, you're kind of going for that silly tone and vibe. I think the part where it's separated itself in a really fun way from like other rhythm games I've seen for itself is the way in which it's trying to do. There was like two specific instances. One where it's like, hey, we have this RPG mode where it's like, oh, cast a spell if you do this combination of rhythm attacks or do this other thing. And it seemed like a mini game. And then the other one being a 4-player kind of multiplayer, just general multiplayer kind of party atmosphere. And that's kind of where it started to lead me towards WarioWare, of like, hey, this is where we're getting just silly, fun mini games of all kinds, but set to music and set to a rhythm of some sort. It seemed cool. I'm very curious. I think I'm cautiously optimistic as someone who's never really played it. I want to see what it's like and see more of it. Maybe if they had a demo, I don't know if there is one, but if they have a demo, I'd give it a shot just to see what it's like. And then we went into one of the goats of the year, the unexpected surprises, maybe even expected, but Pocopia makes its return with some DLC, paid DLC, and some free updates. Man, this is the game that I think people were expecting something. I just think I'm pleasantly surprised to see something so soon being announced for it. I believe the paid DLC, it's like broken up into 3 parts. There's some free updates coming with it. Let's see if we can click on this. So there's the bundle with the expansion pass. The expansion pass is like 3 different, one that they've announced, and that's like kind of a water area, bubbly basin, scheduled to come out in August. So that'll be cool. And then I'm still trying to understand what the free update is, but I'm sure there's some cool stuff there. That game is such a boon for, like, it's ripe for so much potential. I think if they take any lessons that Animal Crossing New Horizons should have learned, Animal Crossing was such a strong showing of this style of game, of like making your own space and doing some cool stuff with it. But I think their flaw was they didn't do as many updates beyond that first year. And it's kind of, that's where people are like, oh, it's the same event, it's this event, it's this event. I feel like Pocopia, it's got the bread and butter of that genre, and it's got Pokemon as a franchise. And you could do so many great seasonal updates, special event updates, fun, random things. People will love that stuff. Like, it's got the makings of it. It's got the foundation for it. Just do it. Like, just flip that switch. People will come. And I think this is them hopefully showing that a little bit. I've seen so many people buy a Switch 2 for this game. Like that, I've said it a lot with my buddy Talcate Brigade, and we both know a lot of friends that have done that and bought this game, or bought a Switch 2 so that they could play this game. And yeah, it's so cool to see. I still got to spend more time with it. I've spent very little time with it just because of so many things to keep up with, but I'm so happy to hear that it's getting stuff, so it's really cool to hear and see here. Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. We got a release date, September 17th. September just keeps filling up. Man, everyone's putting all their goddamn games in September. It's wild. I don't know if we'll see. This is all. So the September thing, for those that don't know, it is no, I believe November is when GTA is coming out, and everyone's staying away from that. And I think, I don't know why they're not going into October. Maybe that's too close to proximity, but they're like 50 things this past weekend were announced for September. And yeah, here's another one. It's no discredit to these games. It's just a worry from folks that, like, I'm in the space of seeing so many people play so many different games and have a wide breadth of fandoms and things that they're enthusiastic about. Seeing that many big releases, you got Wolverine, you got this, you got Control, Resonant, you got 15 other games. It's just, I'm very curious what that launch period of a game looks like, and we'll do a further examination of this because it's been percolating in my head, like that behavior and that psychology that kind of goes into it. So all in all, going back to the conversation about Fire Emblem, I'm really excited about this. To get a date, one, to kind of be reassured it is coming out this year. Last they spoke, they said sometime in 2026. To now see it and to see the different characters you can kind of play with in this world. It looked familiar. It looks like it's kind of from the same team, if I'm not mistaken, that worked on Three Houses, which is one of the ones that I resonated the most with in the Fire Emblem franchise. So yeah, I dig it. I dig what it's doing. I'm really excited. I think this is, again, showing another strong showing for what Nintendo's bringing here. Then we got, it's not, you're not, you know you're in a good spot with a Nintendo piece of hardware when you have the backing of Xenoblade. I think Xenoblade is here in full swing. You had I don't know if it's all, but a lot of their prior games getting the Switch 2 upgrades available. And then you have a new entry being announced, Xenoblade Genesis. I hear so many good things about this franchise and this series, and I think I've bought 2 of them. I've started one of them. I want to play these games. They're just every time I hear the first one, I think it was 3, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, maybe, if I was mistaken. I started playing, and one of my buddies was telling me he was like, I don't know, 50 plus hours into the game, still getting tutorials brought up to him, like a new mechanic. And that's wild that happens, but it's also wild that despite that happening, there's such a vote of, hey, this is a great game. This is a really fun experience. And I hear both from the same people. Like my friend that said that also said that the other sentiments of like really enjoying the games, really enjoying the franchises. And that's all I ever hear. I don't think I hear any negatives besides it being daunting and being a large kind of game to invest your time into. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just, I don't know if I've been at a place, if that makes it intimidating to me or it makes it harder to enter, but I think you just gotta like break through, and maybe I gotta take one of those swings now and really set some time aside to try a Xenoblade fully in full breath. But really cool to see Xenoblade in full swing here. I'm not gonna go over everything. I'm just gonna kind of go over what some of the stuff that spoke to me. You got the Switch Sports stuff, which is always cool. I love games that really showcase some of the motion controls. I don't think I've seen a single thing really do it proper for the Switch 2. And then FromSoft with Dustbloods, we got some news, which is really cool and exciting to see. Dustbloods being their Switch Nintendo exclusives game that they're creating and bringing. Didn't show much, just saw that, hey, we're here, hey, we're around, hey, there's going to be a summer closed network test. So something soon, but I don't know what that means. They're usually pretty good about, hey, that happens and it's still set to come out sometime this year. So maybe they'll join the September gaming crew that we're about to get hit with. But I'm very curious. I'm very excited. The last game I enjoyed was Night Rain by them, and I really enjoyed that experience. So curious to see what Dustbloods is. Then we have the Splatoon franchise coming out with Splatoon Raiders. Their game is coming out. They got a release date, I believe. And it's in the summer. It's coming out soon. And I'm really excited for this one. To see that franchise kind of come to life through, I believe it was like the Wii U era. And then through Wii U and then Switch, now Switch 2. With the main games of Splatoon like that tried and true like PV kind of combat world that they've created. They've always had a campaign, but this feels like they're hitting different genre, and I like that they're doing this franchise and this IP, giving it legs and giving it breadth. I feel like it's such an iconic, like when you see this now you think Nintendo in a big way. It's not quite like a Donkey Kong, Zelda, Mario, but there's like a wave. There needs to be more waves of like what else is Nintendo offering to newer generations or in different ways. It's like it kind of keeps the creative juices flowing, and I dig it, and I like kind of what they're hitting here with what they're doing. It's a little bit of like a world exploration, horde fighting. I don't know. It's hitting on things that I'm familiar with, but in new ways. It looks like it's single player, and it's also like cooperative, like campaign versions of stuff. I don't know. I haven't been looking too deeply into what they have. I just kind of want to experience it. I'm already kind of in that world. I've always enjoyed the past ones, and they're really fun to play. And it looks like they're drawing on that and just taking it in new directions. We're gonna hit these two last, so I'll hit those later. But let's hit on. Yeah, they had a wide sleuth of a bunch of other stuff. I think. Actually, let's hit them now. So they started with Kingdom Hearts, all the prior games kind of being brought in full collection to Switch 2 properly. I know that they prior have been on like cloud versions of them. Now they're like, no, you can get them fully now, locally played, and enjoy them. And there's a demo that should be out of the third one. And then right after that, they went into Kingdom Hearts 4. We got Kingdom Hearts 4 announcement at a Nintendo Direct. And you might be saying, why is that a surprise? It's a surprise because Kingdom Hearts 4, this is a game that I think has, and I say this as someone, I need to caveat this. I say this as someone who's fairly new to the franchise. I've only gotten into it in the last couple of years. But I love the fervor behind it. I love the history that people have had for such longevity. I've listened to like 20 plus hours of podcasts about it. But to see Kingdom Hearts 4, it's become this larger than any one publisher, like a Nintendo, a Sony, an Xbox. To see it at one of theirs, I think folks always drew Square Enix more to Sony in a lot of ways. We see that with like Final Fantasy VII in the past. And usually the hardware, this game, the last time we saw it, it looked like a higher fidelity. And you're like, okay, when I think of higher fidelity, I don't think Nintendo. It's not that they're not capable, it's just you don't think of them as like the forefront of that. So I think a lot of people, and myself included, discounted them from ever showing up here and in a proper announcement kind of way. Also, the other side of it is like there's so many other events that were happening this weekend that was like, oh, this should be at Sony's thing. This should be probably at Keighley's thing, either at the Game Awards or at Summer Game Fest Live. And it wasn't at those. And you're like, okay, it's a long time coming. It'll come eventually. And it shows up here. In hindsight now, them having news about the Switch 2 with all the prior stuff, that's a great segue point. I'm wondering if they just simply thought of that, not a swerve in any other way, but it definitely took me by surprise, and it's a good surprise to hear more about it. They didn't announce any date, so again, I'm like, but they showed a lot more. They showed like combat and like moments of like in-game kind of stuff, and it looked beautiful. It looked great. I'm really excited to go through it. I think you can take some notes here of like, I believe the Kingdom Hearts collection is coming to the Switch 2 on October 8th of this year. So I would say it's safe to say they want people to, again, try to experience those before this comes out. I'd say this is an early 2027 game, maybe March or April, sometime around then to kick us off. But the big thing that was announced, not just that it was at the Nintendo Direct, but it's going to come out at launch on Nintendo Switch 2. So I thought that was huge, to see Nintendo kind of not being the afterthought, but being right up there with the others. And then the last thing that they ended with was what's been rumored and leaked in a lot of ways, but that they were going to remaster in a big way Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. And this is a huge one because it's a game that, it's such a tentpole in the gaming world and a lot of people's experiences and influences of the larger gaming sphere, of the Zelda gaming sphere, of so many different spaces of it. But from what they showed, they didn't show much besides it's coming out, and it's coming out this year. So maybe I think what they're doing there, and I was a little annoyed with that just because I'm like, if you're doing it this year, just show it now. We're in June. but it's Nintendo. They march to the beat of their own drum. Um, it's cool. I dug it. What they showed was a little bit of a cinematic. The music sounded epic, and then you see Link just laying there, and kind of the fairy tale story narrator talking over him, and the look of it reminded me in the best way possible of like those like what if Zelda or Mario was made in Unreal 5 or some high fidelity thing, and I'm really curious to see how it gets revamped and in what way, and like how much we're going to see a fervor for this. I think it's going to be cool. I'm stoked. I'm really into it. I think it's good. It's not just like hey, we're high resing it or we're quality of lifing it. It's like, no, this is built from the ground up with the old game, but like brought to a new generation, new entry point. So really cool to see that. Those are the big announcements. I think overall, looking at the other things that were announced, there's actually a couple. Deltarune announcing more stuff coming out this year. A new Final Fantasy coming in proper pixel form, HD 2D, and kind of having a few characters popping up in various ways, like Cloud, Squall, and a few others. That was really cool to see as Final Fantasy proper here. Metaphor ReFantazio being announced for Switch 2, and yeah, so many others. There's like DK challenges, a bunch of stuff. By and large, the biggest theme I saw here, I don't know how everyone felt, but I felt like it was amazing. It was a great showing. Pacing might have, pacing's always an issue when you run over 30-40 minutes and you have this many trailers to watch, but walking away with like what's to come, I feel like those that have been wondering what to do with their Switch 2s now have a ton on their plate to look forward to and to have concrete dates with. And I think also you're seeing a huge, for me, it's a confidence of like, no, third parties are here and they're going to be in full swing with Nintendo Switch 2 property. Of like Capcom and Square Enix are the ones that come most front and center to me, of them being there and them playing games that perform really well. They're not like the discount copy of it or anything. I played Pragmata from Capcom on my Switch 2 and it ran wonderfully. I was in handheld mode the whole time, or no, most of the time. I played some on my dock, but like it was beautiful. It ran fantastically. It's you can play games here. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth I previewed. That just came out. It runs fantastically on this hardware. You're not getting a PS5 Pro. You're not getting like a high def 5K whatever, like the best resolution. But you're getting a playable, strong, like genuinely playable, not like minimum requirements playable, but genuinely playable version of these games on this platform. And I think seeing so many announcements from so many of these other groups that aren't just Nintendo first party, Dragon's Dogma being there, Onimusha, Way of the Sword, saying that they're going to be on Switch 2, Final Fantasy doing their stuff, Metaphor. Again, so many of these things, Dust Bloods being a game that's going to be on here. They just announced Elden Ring. I think it's, again, just such a statement of like, yeah, there's games here, there's support here, we're on the Nintendo hardware. And I think if you take a step back even further, and just on the portable side, people were like, myself included, there's so many ways to play portably these days. I think that has been kind of throttled a little bit because anyone who's interested in some of the hardware that wants to jump into other types of portable hardware, those are becoming way, way more limited with like the Steam Deck primarily, or these other like hardwares that require. So everything's just been price raised. Like they've all gotten price hikes of some kind, Switch included. But I think Switch continues to be like the biggest one of like, well, if these other things are here, and I know Nintendo's here, why not just get this? And this is my catch-all in a lot of ways. And yeah, so I think just so much here spoke really well. It's a good capstone of the weekend. And yeah, those are my thoughts on the Nintendo Direct. Kind of want to talk it out a little bit, share some notes, and also kind of curious what you guys think. There was a Star Fox demo that's out. It's coming out very soon, but like to get hands-on with that demo, I'm really curious. What spoke out to you the most about all the stuff shown? There's a bunch I didn't cover either, but like there's so many games here that I think of wide girth of like different types of games and players. So let me know what you think, and we'll have a ton more to share. I got a few more videos to make this week, so catch you in the next save play.